become increasingly fraught with danger as a result of the recent acts of Israeli violence perpetrated on innocent Palestinians in Gaza. We call upon the United Nations, the Security Council, and other concerned actors to assume their legal and moral responsibility to uphold international legitimacy and the implementation of the Security Council resolutions related to this issue. We also call upon the international community to compel the occupying power to implement the relevant resolutions and to fulfill all of its obligations and to withdraw from all occupied Arab territories, including the Syrian Golan and the rest of the areas that are still under occupation in southern Lebanon. Mr. President, the General Assembly has proclaimed 2014 as the International Year of Solidarity with the Palestinian people. By this action, the international community declared its intention to seek a just peace resulting in the freedom and national independence for the Palestinian people. But the occupying power has adopted another course. It has chosen instead the path of indiscriminate use of weapons and excessive force that has brought death to Gaza Palestinians, most of whom were the elderly, children, and women, as well as the destruction of thousands of homes, civilian infrastructure, commercial properties, and the facilities of the United Nations. Mr. President, Oman welcomes the recent visit of the Secretary General to the Middle East as indicative of his recognition of the need to urgently seek a solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, particularly in the light of recent tragic events. It applauds the decision of the Swedish government to officially recognize the state of Palestine. It commends the majority vote in the British Parliament stating its belief that the British government should recognize the state of Palestine. It is pleased with the decision of the Spanish Parliament to urge the Spanish government to encourage the recognition of Palestine as a state. We take this opportunity also to express our appreciation to the Arab Republic of Egypt and Norway for organizing the Conference of Donors in Cairo last month, and calls upon the states participating in the conference to implement the results of the conference. Mr. President, the expansion in the construction of Israeli settlements and the foreseeable transfer by the occupying power of Bedouins and herder communities living in the West Bank to central locations constitute a violation of Palestinian human rights and is in breach of Article 49 of the Fourth Geneva Convention, which states individual or mass forcible transfers as well as deportations of protected persons from occupied territory to the territory of the occupying power or to that of any other countries, occupied or not, are prohibited, regardless of motive. Mr. President, Oman expresses its equally deep concern about the tragic situation in the occupied Palestinian territories resulting from the Israeli blockade, the intensive, inhuman, and illegal acts designed to change the demographic composition of the population, as well as the practices of the occupying power in the noble Quds and the attacks on the noble mosque. Mr. President, Oman vigorously stresses that security and stability cannot be achieved through the use of military force as a means to achieve security. As the Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah, made clear in the statement of Oman during the 69th session of the General Assembly, Security and stability cannot be achieved through the use of excessive force and the insistence to inflict heavy loss of lives, injuries, and destruction on the largest possible scale. However, we think the path to achieving security and stability that underpins economic and social recovery can only be realized through partnership in peace between the Palestinians and the Israelis. We believe there is a chance now to achieve this objective following the ceasefire agreement reached between the two sides. We stress the importance that the two sides stick to this agreement and avoid any violations under any pretexts. In this respect, we call upon the Palestinians and the Israelis to resume negotiations in order to reach a just and comprehensive settlement that would provide peace and security for Israel and responds to the hopes and aspirations of the Palestinian people. In conclusion, Oman confirms its strongly held view that it is necessary to return to dialogue and negotiation and calls upon the concerned parties interested in the peace process, the Security Council and the Quartet, to play an active role with a view to reaching a just and comprehensive solution and the desired peace. Israel, the occupying power, should abide by all legal and international decisions and the relevant resolutions of the Security Council, leading to the establishment of an independent Palestinian state in the Palestinian territories occupied since 1967, living side by side with Israel within an internationally recognized border. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the distinguished representative of Oman for her statement, and I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of Sweden.